Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. If you can't tell from the title, I'm going to be doing sort of a Year 4 Season 1 preview, kind of my theories and what I think will happen throughout the season and the nerfs and buffs that I want to happen, that I expect to happen. So I really don't normally do this video, so if you find these kind of boring, hopefully this is a little bit different. I'm not going to just read over the patch notes and tell you all the big stuff. I want to actually dive in and see what will affect the meta and what changes don't really matter that much. So before I talk about Mozzie and Gridlock and how they will really do some damage on the meta, I want to talk about some of the big changes that actually happened through this patch. One of them being that now they're going to change sort of where the head leans and where when you're pixel peeking, you see that yellow dot on the side on the left right there? You can't really see heads when someone's pixel peeking, but now they're going to be showing a lot more of their head. And I'm sure there's been a ton of times where someone has died and you've been like, I can't even see this guy and he can see my body completely. Hopefully now this will fix a lot of that, a lot of the issues, and not to mention that having the head a little bit more centered while aiming like that will also help maybe some lag differences. Like, so if your ping is a lot higher than someone else's, it'll probably help a lot with that. Another thing that we're going to be seeing coming out of this patch is Ashe is actually going to be seeing her ACOG removed. I don't think this will do that much to Ashe, and I feel like her playstyle in general benefits a lot from a holographic or from a reflex, whichever one you run. I think it benefits a lot more from those sites because you tend to push a little bit more aggressively because you can't take such long engagements. I think the ACOG being gone will be a good little balance change. I don't think it'll change her too much. Honestly, if they really wanted to make a difference, I think they should have taken away one of her flashbangs because a lot of people stopped using Zofia, especially more so in Pro League than in Ranked. Ranked, you're going to see Ashe used all the time because she's really easy to use and doesn't have too much versatility that you kind of have to get used to. But I like that they got rid of the ACOG, make her play more of an aggressive style, play a little bit more up close than you normally would have with that ACOG. You can't hold super long angles now. Well, you can, it just won't be as easy given that you don't have an ACOG. But I'm glad that they did this with Ashe, and I'm really looking forward to see how she really works out. Now, the G36C still has an ACOG, so there's a lot of people thinking that, hey, G36C is not that bad, so if we want to play with an ACOG, we'll just switch guns. So it'll be interesting to see what kind of switches actually get made for those who actually still want the ACOG and those who don't care about it or don't really use it to begin with. Now, another thing that we're going to be seeing happen is Dokkaebi is actually getting nerfed a little bit. Instead of her call actually just going for an infinite amount of time, they're going to be adding a hang-up time. Now, originally it was supposed to be 18 seconds, but they figured that was way too long, so now they've reduced it down to 12 seconds. Honestly, this is a huge patch, and it's a great way to nerf Dokkaebi without taking her out too much because she's going to be really useful for side executes because you can't go on your phone while a side execute is going down, and since people play a lot of that intel game, it's going to make a big difference. Now, it would be interesting to see it now that it has a hang-up time. I wish it would affect Echo also, but I guess that's part of bringing Echo. But in Ranked, you can't ban Echo. At least in Comp, you have the option to pick and ban. So it'll be interesting to see if they end up moving it onto Echo. The important part for me is that you can't go on your phone when the plant is going down. That's the bigger part of it, not so much that your phone rings or whatever, because not too many people use it for roam clearing to begin with. She just has too much utility to really waste on that type of roam clearing. Now, the next big thing is Capitao is not going to get what originally people thought was going to be his Capitao bolts. The problem is the area effect was too big, and the fact that you could shoot it over a wall and it would kind of drop down onto the floor instead of sticking to the wall, that's a huge problem. And Godly Noob actually touched on this, and it just, combining that with Gridlock locks down sides way too much. And I think that's probably the right call because Oregon would literally be impossible to hold had they had the old Capitao buff. Now, with all that boring stuff out of the way, I just want to talk about the new operators, where I think they're going to fit, and how well I think they're going to do, and what I expect to see out of them, and how they're going to shift things around. Now, Mozzie is in a really interesting spot right now. 2 speed, 2 armor, that's borderline flex, going on to roaming. He could honestly do roaming or anchoring, but I have this slight feeling, he's going to be really, really good on the roam. The reason I think he's going to be good on the roam is because his ability to shut down doorways, the only way you can get rid of it is by EMPing his gadget. And if you can put his gadget on a doorway and you make an attacker have to push through that doorway without any sort of intel, because he takes drones and even if, at least when drones get muted, they don't get destroyed or they don't get taken. But now that he's going to be able to take drones, I have a feeling that he's going to help roamers at the very least. Even if he doesn't roam himself necessarily, putting those on doorways where roamers might come through is going to be more than helpful, because he'll be able to take over these drones and use them to gather intel. And then you're going to have attackers having to destroy their own drones because they can't use them anymore. Honestly, that's where I think he's going to be placed, is he's either going to be on the roam or he's going to be helping the roamers by putting down his gadget all in the doorways. This is going to really make the stall that you have on roams a lot harder to take, because you can't drone everything out. You can't just throw your drone in and hope for the best now. You're going to have to be wary that your drone might be taken, and that's going to be a problem for attackers. So it's going to be interesting to see how he really fits into that. Now, his guns aren't OP by any manner. They're actually in a pretty good balanced state right now, and he doesn't have an ACOG on his primary, so it's in a really good state right now. He can't take super long engagements, and he has a half shotgun or a shorty shotgun as his secondary, so I think that he can create rotation holes on the go. Now, it doesn't have a lot of ammo, but it does a lot of destruction to the walls. So again, I think that he's going to end up being a roamer. I think really what we'll see is a lot of people are going to play around with him and not really know exactly what to do. And then once we start seeing the pros, and I know he's not going to be in Pro League the first 3 months, but we're going to start seeing pros on stream, how they use them. And once we get that sort of synergy in, that's when we're going to start seeing this op getting used to its full potential. I think the ability to take over drones can honestly be used on the roam, and it can be used on site. It's just going to be interesting to see where exactly they place him. Now, the next person I want to focus on is, I mean, this is the title of the video, and I have this feeling that Gridlock is going to be so OP unless they do something to, one, her guns and just her loadout in general. She has her smokes, she has 2 smokes, and 3 of her devices. This is way too much utility. This is way too much utility. You're going to lock down sites. She's going to be able to plant and then throw all those down, or at least throw her smokes down and throw all those down. And if the smokes are down, you can't really see them going down. So I understand the idea that you can just shoot them, and that it takes a second for them to like kind of spread out across your room. But most of the time, if you have smokes and you have a way to stop them, Nomad might be a problem too for the same exact reason. It makes the execute a lot easier because you have the smokes and you have all that. You're going to hear people shooting these traps, trying to retake site. And her guns, honestly, are really good. The M249 and the F90, both great guns. And she got a new sight on the M249. That's a great ACOG sight to have. Her and Capto actually both got it. But they both got this new sight M249. M249 doesn't have that much recoil as of now. So I'm curious to see where she's going to fit, because I have a feeling that she's going to be super OP. And unless they do something, if they reduce the gadget, or if they just reduce, or they take away her smokes, she won't be as useful as she currently is. And honestly, if you're not watching sight and she throws those down and you don't have a chance to shoot them all out, there's no way you're going to retake this site, because you think on basement, on garage, inside consulate, if you throw those down, there's only 3 lanes to pretty much get through. You could just put one on yellow, put one near the cars, and put one on the other side of white. There's no way you're getting through, especially with the smokes down. You're not going to be able to even see them to shoot it until the smokes clear up, and by that time, diffuser's down and your seconds are waning. So I really think that she's going to be in an OP spot unless they decide to balance her out in some way, shape, or form. I have this feeling, but again, we're not going to know until probably a month or 2 into the season, and by that time, they're probably going to make the decisions based off that. But I think combining her gadget with everyone else's gadget is going to make her a lot better than she really should be. Although the only downfall that I think she has that was probably the right call, she is a 3 armor 1 speed operator. So she's not that fast, but I think her place is really going to be holding angles and helping with the side execute, not roam clearing. She's probably not going to be opening any floors anytime soon. She doesn't really have the gadget besides that shotgun to do that, but that's not enough utility to really open floors with. It's helpful, but not that helpful. The thing is, though, you can throw her gadget through drone holes, and if you open a hole in the floor above something, you can throw it through that also. It doesn't take a lot for her to be able to throw it into a site. And ADSs don't eat her gadget, which I think was probably not the right move, although ADSs would have been a lot more useful. But I don't think that ADS is not eating the gadget was a call, because now the only way you can really stop it is by shooting it, and I don't think that's the way to go around things. But anyways, guys, let me know what you guys think down in the description below. I know this is me ranting or whatever, but I wanted to get my theories out there and kind of see if I'm wrong, then I'll own up to that. So make sure you guys leave a comment down below. Let me know what you guys think. If I'm totally wrong, let me know down in the comments. Anyways, guys, that's going to wrap things up for today. This is going to be Josh Snipes signing off.